How much of my sister's playing can you hear? Be honest. Have you ever walked by your shelves and you just look at a book and you start shrinking back at that book because of how scared you are? Now, you might be saying, what is wrong with you? But I think this is very valid. Okay? Hello, my name is Emily. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm filming a video that I'm gonna call Reading Books I've Been Scared to Read. I think there are 3 types of being scared of a book, and I'm going to list them for you right now. The first book that I think we're scared to read sometimes is the book that is very hyped, like the very popular book talk book, the very popular booktube book, that you're scared that it won't live up to the hype and that your expectations are so high that you're scared that you're going to hate it because they're not going to reach those expectations. I have many of those, and I think that kind of causes me to not want to pick it up for a while until the hype dies down. So yes. And then the second category, the book that has been on your physical TBR for the longest time, and it's like that book that's kind of staring at you and kind of haunting you and just telling you, read it, and you're like shrinking back in fear because like, I'm scared to read you now. You have been on my shelf for 3 years. So yeah, the third and final category is a book that you're scared to read because it's just out of your comfort zone. It's a genre you don't really read, and you're just it's scary. So now I'll introduce you to the categories. Well, the books I chose for these categories. The first one of book talk books or popular books that I'm scared to read. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Emily Henry in general just has so much hype, and I've read 3 of her books. I rated them all around 4 stars, which is not bad at all, but I just haven't had a 5-star book from her, which I feel like everyone has. So I'm just always scared to rate them like anything lower than 5 stars. I'm scared, obviously, to read this. We're gonna dive into it, okay? The second category, a book that's been on my shelf for a long time, The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. This book has been on my shelf for 3 years now. I've had this for 3 years. Like, that's kind of insane. I think it's time for it to go, honestly. Also, it's literally the indie cover. Like, that's how long I've had it. I don't think this is an indie. Like, I think it's a traditionally published now. Different cover. It's insane. But that's that. The third and final part of this category, The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. I'm sorry if I butchered it. It's out of my comfort zone. If I read this, it would be the first historical fiction book that I've ever read. I usually stick to fantasy and romance. But in high school, I loved historical fiction, or in history in general, reading about history at least. That's why I've been wanting to read it, but I'm still scared because it's out of my comfort zone. Let me give you a quick synopsis of everything. This book, eldest sibling, like that's all I heard, and that's all I needed for me to want to pick up this book, honestly. I have cheated. I did start this book. I'm on chapter 2. The way her quotes already leading up to chapter 2 and how Nora thinks, she took it out of my brain, for real. Like, she literally took the things that I think out of my brain. But anyways, I'm actually pretty excited to read this. I don't really know much. I go into books blind, so I'm sorry these synopses kind of suck. I know that they're both in publishing, and that's practically it. It's about book lovers. Then, The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, I know it's a sports romance, and I think it's like a boss assistant type of thing. I told you my synopsis kind of suck, but I like to go into books blind. So, The Book Thief, I know it follows kind of death, like itself, and it's set in World War II. And I've always kind of enjoyed is a bad choice of wording, but I've always been really intrigued in the stories set in World War II, and I think it's heartbreaking most of the time, but I do want to read more books set in World War II, so I'm excited to read this. And I know everyone kind of sobs over the story. let's see if I do. I have been planning this video for months, so if you don't like it, you will be hurting my feelings. Just wanted to put that out there. I'm so excited for this video, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope this kind of initiates you to pick up a book that you've been scared to read somehow. Let's get into this reading vlog. I guess this is my first real update, but if anyone would like to know my thoughts on this so far, I am on page 52, and all I can think is her love for her little sister. I feel so seen right now. Like, as an eldest daughter, there's not that many books that like center on that, and I feel like this is making me feel so seen right now. I love Nora, the way she thinks. I can relate very much to how Nora thinks. A little synopsis: Nora is a publisher, and August is a very slow month for publishing and editing and all this stuff, and because she's an editor and her little sister Libby feels kind of feel disconnected, and Libby's pregnant. Libby suggests that they go on a month-long trip to a small town where a book that Nora has edited is set in, and they go on this trip, and you're kind of following that journey and all that. And so far, I got through the beginning really quickly, which I feel like I always struggled with in Emily Henry's book, but with this one, I haven't really struggled at all. So the best drink ever. It is the next day, and I am wearing the same exact clothes, but it's a rotting day, okay? I couldn't. Okay, I worked like 10 hours yesterday. Anyways, update on chapter 10, page 116. How do I feel? Let me tell you. The things Nora says and the way her mind works is just like, how are you taking the thoughts that I have onto paper right now? Like, Like, she thinks so much like me, but like the reasoning behind it too, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like some people explain like really uptight, like organized people, and they don't have the reasoning behind it. We finally reached like a scene with the male main character, and I felt so much chemistry. Like, immediately love the chemistry. I feel like this book has such awareness of cliches of books and the cliches that go on in books. If you want to find a book that is aware of it and makes kind of like fun of it, this is so funny. It's like, it's so self-aware, and I love it. Like, you make fun of, you don't make fun of, you make light fun, I feel like, of small town romances and all, and everything that kind of goes along with it. I wish I started tabbing and, like, not tabbing but highlighting and underlying in the beginning, because there's so much stuff that I wish I could just find examples of right now, but I can't, because I didn't start underlying in the beginning, so now I feel like I can't underline anymore because I just don't have anything for the beginning chapters. Anyways, we'll see how far I get today. I'm really enjoying it so far, so. I started off, let me take off my work shirt actually. I started off yesterday at 30% into book lovers, and I ended the day with around 70%. I read quite a bit of this book, and I have like this much left. If the last clip you saw, I'm pretty sure is me bawling my eyes out. Guys, I feel like I have two different types of crying, okay? I have my crying where like I'm just happy, like an emotional, like I'm happy for these characters finally cry, and then like a deep gut-wrenching, like I literally feel like someone stabbed me in the heart crying over a book. And I didn't cry for long, but my nose was so red, like I felt so seen. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I just felt it. I love Nora, and the scene that I witnessed last night, it wasn't anything crazy, but I felt it in my soul as an older sibling, and it was just a cry where I literally felt like it was happening to me. I'm wondering how this is gonna turn out, because I feel like it could go in either direction currently, but we'll find out. I have a single tear, and I didn't even know that it was coming. Like, I didn't even feel the tear until it was down, and I'm like, did I just shed a tear? Like, I literally couldn't even sense. I didn't even sense me crying. I didn't remember me starting to cry, and I was like, what is that? Okay. is literally 2 days later, and I have not spoken at all about Book Lovers because I did finish it 2 nights ago at 2 a.m. So this is actually the first book I read in 2025, which is kind of awesome. I'm really happy that this is the first book that I read in 2025, and I will get to why. On Goodreads it's gonna say I read this from the 3rd to the 7th, but I read literally like 80% of this book in 2 days. I sort of like kind of started it the third. If anyone would like to know my rating, 5 stars. It's 5 stars. This might be one of my favorite books of all time. I'm not sure yet. I think it's honestly gonna depend in a few months with how much I'm thinking about this book, but it's a 5 stars. I literally ate this book up. The quotes in here, the way Nora was able to literally pull thoughts out of my head, like some of the things she said are stuff that I couldn't even put into words until she said it. I love Nora as a character. I love Charlie. I love how not stereotypical this book was. I connected so hard to the main character in this book. I think a lot of the thoughts that she had were literally me. Like, how did Emily Henry, how was she able to pull thoughts that I couldn't even form into words from my head? I rated this book 5 stars. If I could choose a book to represent how I think, this would represent how I think in my outlook in life. The way Nora thinks, I think. Emily Henry was literally able to put words that I never was able to put into words, basically. Like, Emily Henry, how did you just take thoughts out of my brain and put it down on paper? Like, I don't get it. And I did bawl like a baby. This is 100% a book dedicated to older sisters, especially if you have just one sibling and that's a younger sister. This book is literally for you. I have never felt more seen in my life. And I don't even know how to explain it. It's generally just how I felt about this book. And I really want to go reread it, like, and I wished I annotated it. I really wish I did. I'm so sad I didn't, but it's okay. This is definitely one of these books that I feel like would hit harder the second time around. So I am looking forward to rereading this book and seeing how much of an impact it has on me. Because I feel like some of the topics in here, and because I felt so connected to Nora, there's some things that I feel like I'm not even ready to come to terms with. So like, I want to see how much I grow, how much stuff kind of differs from then and now, and I get the hype now. I truly get the hype. This is out of the 4 books that I have read total by Emily Henry, this is my first 5-star read. We're off to a great reading year, and we're off to a good start for this video. So we found a 5-star read, maybe even 6-star read in this video. I'm obsessed. I guess we move on to our next read, which I think it's probably The Book Thief, but we'll see what I'm in the mood for. Yay! Okay, everyone. I am officially 85 pages into The Book Thief. I want to discuss a little bit about what I have read. It has taken me just a little bit to get into this book. This is a very long book. It is about 185,000 words. So the word count, I feel like, really matters in books. This is almost 600 pages, but wait, is it almost 600 pages? Okay, so it's like 550 pages, but it is 185,000 words. I am going to say this. It took me 3 years to get through the first 20 pages. And my advice, which I will, when I finish the book, I will confirm this. When I finish this book, I will confirm if yes or no on this. It takes so long to get through the first 20 to 30 pages because I thought, like, I was like, I'm not understanding this, and I kept rereading and trying to figure out what the heck the first 20 and 30 pages were saying. The first 20 to 30 pages is foreshadowing, so I think you do not need to understand right away what is going on the first 20 or 30 pages. Like, you don't have to understand. You will most likely find out later in the book. So don't do what I did and literally look at every single line and overthink it, because that's why it took me so long. After that, you sort of get used to it and get used to the writing, and it'll start talking more chronologically in the story. And now I'm 85 pages in, and I'm definitely starting to understand what is going on way more, and it's getting way easier to read it. So yeah, just don't do what I did. Another thing is that I didn't expect to get emotional at one part, and I ended up getting emotional, and I'm like, dang, if this is like 80 pages in, I don't know how I'm gonna last 500 pages without getting emotional. I think it's coming pretty soon, so this will be definitely an emotional one. This book doesn't go by chapters. It's more like parts. So like part 1, I think it goes all the way to part 10. It is a hefty book, so I most likely will check back in when I'm on part 3, because I'm currently on part 2. Yeah, I'm on part 2, so when I reach part 3, I'll probably check in with you all. Hello everyone. I'm extremely tired, but I wanted to continue on with this video and update you guys. It's been a couple weeks, I'm not gonna lie, since I last picked up The Book Thief. I think I got to page like 170 and just lightly DNF'd it because I was like getting into a slump and my brain was like an information overload, and I just couldn't process what was going on in this book. Or not process it, but I was having difficulty reading it because of like how much everything that was going on around me. So yeah, but we're back. I read a different book. I'm back into it. I'm on page 184, 185. And we are getting more background information as to why some of the characters act the way they do, and like some of the reasonings behind their actions, which is really interesting and heartfelt, honestly, because like I've teared up multiple times in the last few scenes. And I think the thing about this book is that they give you so many like grains of salt as to the background of these characters, and then when you get bits of information scattered throughout the story, or not scattered, it's done very well. It's definitely put a lot of thought into what pieces of information are revealed, but when you do get those pieces of information, you're like, that makes sense. But it's also like kind of like not depressing, but it tugs on your heartstrings a lot of the times, and we just sort of got that. And I was like, I'm about to cry, so we're gonna see how it carries on, where it goes. Hello everyone, long time no see. Well, not for you, but you know what I mean. The Book Thief, I have not finished. You can't really tell by my time frame, but it's taking me a month. I have read a book in between that though, so I think it's fine. I'm on page 246 and I have 2 things to talk about right now. My dog's drinking from her bowl, so give me 1 second. The first thing I want to talk about are these little pictures that come in the book. I think they're so like, okay, the one thing that I want to talk about them is that the person in the book who drew, no spoilers by the way, but the person in the book who drew this drew over one of the books from World War II, a propaganda book basically, and he drew over it with white paint and created this story for The Book Thief. And if you can tell, which you can literally see the words from the Min Kim. For the Min Kim, I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry, but the propaganda book being painted over and you can literally see it in the little drawings. And I think that's such an intricate detail that the author put into this book. It's like you're literally there, and this is literally just a drawing over this book, and I think that's such an awesome detail to put into it. The second thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that 3 pages ago something was spoiled for me, but the author spoiled it. Like, the author literally said, and I quote, "Of course I'm being rude. I'm spoiling the ending, not only of the entire book, but of this particular piece of it. I have given you 2 events in advance because I don't have much interest in building mystery." Basically, he just gave us like something that spoils how this book kind of turns out, or at least of like a certain character. I'm just like, did I really want to know that? Like, I'm certain if I didn't know it, I would have bawled my eyes out. I may bawl my eyes out anyway, but I think just having it prematurely either is going to make the book or is not. And I don't know what, I guess obviously it's purposeful, but I guess I've never had a book like that, so I guess I'm just gonna have to wait and see how this affects the book or not for me, but it's definitely interesting. Oh my god, don't look at me. Okay, now look at me. Like, I am officially 75% through this book, and it is picking up. Dare I say, finally. It is March 17th, so it's been like 2 months since I've been reading this, but I literally cannot read anything else until I finish this book. So I will update in just a little bit on this book.
I'm not looking for any trouble either, sir. I simply want to.
So I told you all how the author likes to do this thing where death kind of like tells you the ending, like a preview to the ending, to soften the blow. I swear to God, if this happens in the book, if this certain thing that he just spoiled basically happens, like if that is the ending, I will be rating this very low. Oh my god, okay. I'm just gonna keep reading. I'm scared. This is literally like 3 seconds after the last clip that I shared. I'm gonna have to finish this tomorrow, but I have like 56 pages left.
She was the woman with the instrument. Make no mistake, the woman had a heart. She had a bigger one than people would think. There was a lot in it.
Don't worry, young girl. You'll see. Tokyo case fell from her grip. The sound of an explosion.
It's 12:09 in the afternoon. I just finished The Book Thief. I'm distraught. I don't know how to truly put it into words about how this book made me feel at the end. I will kind of, I guess, start with my rating. I'll start with my rating first. Let me put it on Goodreads too, but I'm rating this 4 stars. I know a lot of people rate this like 5-star, 6-star book. I don't think I can rate it a 5-star based on how kind of bored I was and how long it took me. 3 months to read this book, guys. Like 3 months, like about 2.5 months, and it is a chunker obviously, but it took me a very long time because you're sort of going through a lot of mundane things in this girl's life, so there's not a whole lot of action going on. And I feel like when it comes to books that are specifically literary fiction, is this literary fiction? I don't know, but I like action, and I like action in most of my books. So little details going on in this girl's life that you know about, which I found boring for the majority of the book. Like the action really starts like the last 100 pages. That's why it took me kind of a very long time to read this book. But I will say this, it is a completely unique writing style. Like the writing of this book is incredibly unique, and I loved it. Like no doubt that Marcus Zuzak is an incredible writer, like extremely unique. The perspective of this book is you're following Liesel, who is German, and it doesn't really focus too much. What I've read, this is not my own words, but from whatever I've read and what I've noticed from the book is that you're following a German town in a time of Nazi Germany. They are hiding a Jew in their basement. However, like it doesn't like try and make you sympathize with the Jew in hiding, because you're already supposed to like have that sympathy and that empathy for this Jew, if that makes any sense. Like you're already, like the author already suspects that you have this sympathy and empathy, because it's not truly about that. It's not, it kind of wants to give you a different perspective, and that's what I love about reading and what I love about books. Like even though I rated this at 4 stars and I was bored, like I'm not gonna lie, I was bored a lot of time with this book, I think this is a book that everyone should read. Everyone should read one of these books, like this book, because it just gives you such a different perspective, and it doesn't make you necessarily like hate like you don't, because like when you think of Nazi Germany, you kind of think like you kind of don't get like these stories about Germans who were empathetic towards Jews, but they were too scared to speak out, which is horrible. But we have these survival instincts that like made me kind of like empathize with them too. Like their family, it's wartime, children are dying, bombs, like they're terrified for their own lives, they're terrified to speak out, like all those sort of things that make you think about a whole different perspective. And like I don't know, it was just so cool. I don't know how to put it into words to make you understand the thought, but like this is something that I read from the Book Thief's bonus material, from the author himself, and he wrote this book based on what he grew up with his mom and dad telling him stories about that time. And it says that, for my siblings and me, when we heard these stories, it was like a piece of Europe entered our kitchen. We were shown a world of bombs and ice and fire. We were told about kids boycotting Hitler youth meetings and mothers and fathers who refused to fly the Nazi flag. We heard about boys who were whipped for giving bread to Jewish people and other so-called criminals as they were marched to the streets of their town, and the way those people thanked them. How could I ever know? My parents weren't only telling me what they saw, they were teaching me how to write. And one thing about me, these glimpses of humanity in such a horrible time in our world makes me emotional, and like I don't know, books like transport you into like a whole different body and experience of other people, and it gives you such eye-opening perspective and things that you never probably thought about too much before.
So I do think, like, if you pick up this book and you read like a chapter, if you read this throughout the year, like picking up like a few chapters every now and then, I think that's probably a good way to read it if this isn't kind of like your style of book where not too much is happening but everything's happening at the same time. Like, yeah, those were my thoughts on The Book Thief. I want to put this in before I end that rant, is that I did find the foreshadowing and the basically like him telling you what's gonna happen frustrating, because by that point I don't want to read it. Like, I don't want to read that. Like, whenever I know something's coming and I know it's bad, I don't want to read it. So it was frustrating to continue on with the book when I found out. It's with any spoiler. Like, I hate spoilers. So like, if you don't like that, obviously you're probably not gonna like this type of foreshadowing. And another thing that I want to point out is that this book like strips down humans and humanity and from a perspective that is completely unbiased. And yeah, it's just an amazing book. And now I can finally put this book down, which I'm so glad I finished it finally, because this has been on my to-go for such a long time, guys. I'm so happy. Anyways, I guess we're gonna read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me next for this video. I'm gonna go put this on my red shelf. Hello everyone. So I wanted to try and give a little update for this reading books I've been scared to read video. It has been a matter of fact like 2 months since I finished The Book Thief, which just don't talk about it. Has it been like a month? I don't know, like a month or two since I finished The Book Thief. So this video has now been going on for like about 5 months, but you know what, we're just gonna roll with it. It's okay. The next book that I'm supposed to read is The Wall of Winnipeg, and I finally got like a little bit into it where I feel like I can like start recording my process in this. So chunky book. I am on page 48 and we kind of just started getting like the layout of these characters. Obviously you follow The Wall of Winnipeg, which I still don't know his real name, or Aiden, yeah, that's his name, Aiden, and Vanessa we're following. And this guy is just so grumpy, like just so like does not care about anything, that I'm like, is this must be just such a slow burn. Like, I know it's a slow burn, but like he seems not like 0% interested in her, and it's kind of crazy. In other books, when they meet, you can sort of see like some sort of infatuation with one another, but or like even friends to lovers, you kind of see like hints of them falling in love and But with this, there's like zero, like they don't hate each other, but they're just like, they're there, like they're in between. They have no feelings towards each other, and she kind of hates him just a little bit, but I don't know, it's interesting. We'll see how much of a slow burn this is. The reason why I haven't like filmed either is because my dog's drinking water. Because I obviously am in school. I have not been able to really, like, I've been just having like finals and that, and like this is finals like sort of week. Like, we're coming up towards the end of the semester. It's April 24th, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to read, but we're probably going to slowly get through this because I don't think this is going to take too much brain power. So I also chose to read this for that reason as well. Yeah. Hopefully it won't take me too long, then I can finally put this video out. Hello everyone. I thought I would kind of do an update. I am on page 132, almost on chapter 8. I've read this much. I got this much left. I honestly don't have that much thoughts, but I wanted to update at like 20% mark, and I am, according to my audiobook, 20% in exactly. So I've like listened to like half of it on audiobook, and like the other half I've like been reading it physically. But also, do you know how annoying it is to read it in this copy? Like, And you know what? I'm very, very annoyed. But I did try to get it on Libby so I can have it on my Kindle. And I wasn't ready to read it. Like, it literally said, okay, it's ready. And I'm like, give me like 2 days. And then it went to 8 weeks. Like, because you know how like you can put it on pause for it to deliver later. And I put like literally 1 day, I think. And then I said, okay, you have to wait 8 weeks now. What? So I'm not getting that. Like, it's 8 weeks and it's really been stuck at 8 weeks for like 2 weeks. So I'm not getting them. The only thoughts that I really have, if I'm being completely honest, is that I do really like the female main character, and then the male main character kind of pisses me off. Like, he's like the grumpiest of grumpiest, and I'm like, how is this gonna work? Because like, he has shown zero interest in her, and I'm like, I wonder how this is gonna play out. Like, is he gonna come around somehow? Like, I don't know. I'll probably tell you guys the premise when I like review it, but I don't want to say much because like I'm 20% in and it kind of just got to the point, which I'm not minding because I like when everything kind of builds up. But anyways, I'll probably update you like the 40-50% mark, but I have like no feelings so far. But 50% is literally like I'm on page 300. That's crazy. Bye. Guys, literally the most minuscule thing happened, and this will happen with slow burns, okay? I'm like, so far I'm not like loving it, but I'm also almost 200 pages in and nothing has truly happened between them. Like, it's still such like a bored expression. They still just are kind of what's the word, they don't feel anything for each other right now, like literally nothing. I forgot the word, but and to almost 200 pages in, something just happened where, not a spoiler, I think, like, it's really not a spoiler, but actually it might be a spoiler, but a minuscule thing happened with him saying, could you get my girl a coffee? And if you know, you know. Like, just that little sentence made me feel giddy. And it was just this, like, that's the thing about slow burns. The little tiniest things will make you feel so giddy inside with the slow burn. So, I'm not mad at it. It just was unexpected, this giddy feeling. Because I forget how, like, slow burns are.
I've been in the world today for a couple hours. I can't do anymore. Today's my day. It's like every single human I came into contact with did something to either insult me or piss me off or just annoy me. And today is what is this talking about? Like, what is this thing? I basically was kind of trying to figure out what this is. Nora, they mentioned it at the beginning, and then throughout the story, you were just kind of reading it, and then I would forget that there was even this kind of like big thing that was kind of.
I literally started crying and tearing up a little bit, so I kind of wanted to give an update because this is the first time this book has kind of made me feel something, which is kind of bad. But I'm 50%, like exactly 50% through this book now. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. I've just been reading a little bit and I'm on page 36, so 50% through. Guys, this is spoiler free, so like I don't want to give anything away, but I'm just gonna say something about the girl's like personality. So she's very like cool, calm, collected type of person. Like internally she's not, like I don't think anyone is, but like outwardly she tries to be very like mature and less emotion driven. Like she tries to act rationally in every situation, and you know what, period, you know, everyone should try and be like that, but it also pisses me off, like not at her but like at everyone else around her, because I'm like, girl, just punch her, like hit her, act out, say this, say that. Like, I'm like, ugh, I wish you said this to her, even though like she did the mature thing. I wish she didn't do the mature thing, because sometimes it gets to a point where it's like, oh my god, your patience is incredible. Like, I can't believe it sometimes. And finally, like, I'm so glad. I think what is gonna make me really love this dynamic is for someone in her life to finally stand up for her. Because what is this? What is wrong with all the people in your life? Like, you need someone to like get all that anger and stand up for you, to like act rational and be like, you're being mature about this, but the things they're doing to you is crazy. And any normal person would act out on this. And you're just trying to be all forgiving and patient and mature. And it's like, no, you need someone that will rock somebody's shit for you. I'm sorry. And that's exactly what's kind of happening right now. And I'm loving every second of it. Because thank you. Thank you. Because what this girl is going through is, like, how people are treating her is crazy. I'm pissed off, but also happy, finally. Okay guys, so I'm like, I have a sore throat, so this is like the loudest I'm going to get. But 80% through. And the most giddiest, like, I'm so giddy. Like, this one little contact really, like, so giddy. Everybody, this is not a pause. This is not a drill. This is not a drill. I'm about to finish. I am on chapter 30. We're about to find out where I am in the physical book. Which, oh my god, imagine if I read this physically. Like, I read majority of this either audiobook or on my iPad or Kindle. Oh my god, we're almost freaking done. That's crazy. I have, like, bro, we have barely gotten, like, anything. This is crazy. But I'm kind of sick, and I just went out for, like, 2-minute appointment, so I feel really gross. So I'm probably gonna just take a quick nap and then finish it, because I don't think I can read without throwing up. So since I finished this book, I can finally put it up my shelf. But before that, let's talk about my rating, which obviously everything's always bound to change, because ratings can like change within days, but I don't think I'm gonna change this. I might rate it a little higher, but overall I think I'm gonna stick to my rating, and that's a 3.5. It was slow. It took me a month to read this, obviously, but I was also working, I got sick, I had a whole bunch of stuff going on, I had finals. Like, it made sense that it took me a while to read this book. The two main characters, I loved both of the main characters. I think they went very well together. None of them annoyed me, and I thought the romance was really good. It took up until here for something to actually happen between them, but you know, that's what a really real slow burn is. So besides the fact that, like, okay, I love both the characters, I didn't find any of them annoying. Why did you rate this so low? If I read this quicker, maybe I would have rated this like 4 stars. The ending got me. I got a little teary-eyed. However, I just thought, for how thick of a book this was and how much content there was like a whole lot of nothing at some points. I just thought we had so much like scenes that could have been added, and this is already a thick book. Obviously, when some people hate learning about other characters, but I would have loved to have so much more scenes with other characters, because I feel like the interactions were mostly just between the two main characters, but there were characters that I really loved, actually. And can we talk about the brother? First of all, I'm so sorry, but he was so close, which I guess if you don't want to know anything, skip this little part, but this is really not a spoiler. Like, we're starting here. We know that this is a fake marriage type of situation. She's supposedly so close to her brother, but we never see his reaction to the marriage. And I'm just like, hello? What is this? He's just fine with it. He's just cool. Like, okay, all of a sudden my sister's married and you guys are so close. Like, what? That didn't make any sense to me. we like skipped over a whole bunch of important parts, which I feel like could have been more added onto this. Again, it's just like this book is so thick that there's no way you didn't include some scenes that I feel like were needed. And then again, it's so slow burn, but at the same time when they actually got together it felt really rushed, and I feel like we could have had more build up. As crazy as that sounds, I feel like there could have been more tension leading up to them getting together, if you know what I mean. Wow, that's actually probably the most articulated reason as to why I didn't like a book I've ever like said on camera. But anyway, I generally did love the romance. As I said, I feel like thick book could have added a little more needed scenes regarding other characters that I feel like are important to the characters' lives, and I feel like we just didn't get enough backstory of the male main character. Like honestly, I could see this being like a 2-book little series, little duology, just because like I liked how we were slowly building up to the romance. I loved the slow burn. I just feel like the ending was rushed, which is crazy for slow burn, but you know, I still enjoyed it, and I flew through like the second half of the book. Well, my version of flying through a book when I have a lot of stuff to be doing. So yeah, 3.5 stars. Let us go put it on my shelf now. I don't really know where to put it. Like, this is like my romance shelf, but it doesn't go with it because they're all kind of like colorful, and this is just like, I don't know, like I could put it down there. But that's mostly like thrillers, fantasy, and non-fiction. I could put it down there, but I didn't hate it. Like, those are all the books that like are 3 stars or below. I don't know. Okay, everybody, where should I put it? And if I moved it, I could put it here. I might just have to put it here. Yeah, this is gonna have to work, guys. Hello, can you hear me? Unfortunately this is me 5 months into the future. I didn't film an outro because I always forget to, and 2, I always feel like I have to, if I do forget, I feel like I have to go like get ready and all this, like, and look presentable when I'm filming my outro. But I'm always so busy that like I never get around to it. I'm just like, you know what? Break this. You guys are gonna get me in outros however I look and whenever I have time to film that. So this is me. You get a little, you get absolutely nothing from me, but you know what, who cares? Who cares? No one. I don't think anyone cares. So yeah, 5 months 5 months later, at least, like, you know, my ratings are now sort of established, and I've had a long time to think about them. So we're just gonna wrap this up by concluding all the books that I read and the ratings and, you know, all that shabam. So we did read 3 books this video. Wow! I was really proud of those 3 books. Okay, so we'll start with Book Lovers. I know I said like I'll think about this and like my reading and like if it's a 6-star, guys. I literally think about this book constantly. I'm scared to read it because honestly I just don't think it'll be the same like ever. Like, I can never read this for the first time ever again. But it is a 6-star book. This is probably my favorite romance. Like, I think it tops Archer's Voice, and nothing has topped Archer's Voice since I started reading. At least like standalone romances. Like, nothing has topped a standalone romance from Archer's Voice, and I feel like this does. It's a 6-star read, guys. If you're an older sibling, oldest daughter, just read it. Like, just read it. Next, The Book Thief. I'm so glad this book is off of my TBR. Guys, this has probably been sitting here since I first started reading again, like early 2021, so it's been like a long time coming. I know I rated this 4 stars, but anytime I do think about this book, I do think about how long it took me and just how dreadful that process was. So I think it's like a 3.75, not a 4 star, but still really close to the 4 star. Just that long 3 months that it took me to read, it will never get out of my brain. Like, I will always associate it with this book. So 3.75, final rating. The world wouldn't peg at me. Actually, I haven't looked back at the video and see what I rated this, but I'm gonna go with a 3.5. It wasn't the best book ever. I barely remember it, but I do remember enjoying my time. Sometimes it did take me a while to finish, and it wasn't bad. So like 3.5. I know I said that I'm their established ratings, but I can barely remember this book, so it's like 3.5. It did annoy me that, like, generally it was a really real slow burn, and I kind of want a little more at the end. I want a little more of them actually being a couple. So one meh book, one also kind of meh book, but like emotional, and I liked it, and then one amazing book I will never be able to get out of my head book. So yay, this is your sign to like read books from your TBR even if you're scared to read them. That's the whole point of this video. Okay, great. Thank you all for watching. I really hope I see you next time, because it does take me a while to put out videos, but stick around because quality content over here rather than quantity. Just kidding, I'm trying to put out a little more quantity than quality, so, but both are important. Anyways, bye.